The Sunday supper table, usually a stage for Vivian's overenthusiastic anecdotes and Arthur's grumbled affirmations, was instead a crucible of unspoken tension. Roasted chicken and mashed potatoes, once comforting, now felt like props in a play Elara was about to dismantle. Arthur mechanically carved his steak, avoiding her gaze, while Vivian, ever the orchestrator of appearances, passed dishes with a forced, brittle smile. Sienna, oblivious in her digital world, scrolled through her phone, a faint, entitled smirk playing on her lips. Elara's fork lay untouched beside her plate, her stomach churning, yet her resolve was a cold, hard stone in her chest. She took a deep, fortifying breath, the very air thick with impending confrontation. "I heard your call last week," Elara began, her voice steady, cutting through the clatter of silverware like glass. "You didn't hang up. I know what you really think of me." Silence descended, thick and suffocating. Arthur's knife halted mid-slice, a streak of gravy congealing on the pristine white plate. Vivian's forced smile froze, a grotesque mask, her eyes wide with sudden panic. Sienna's phone clattered to the polished wood, its screen illuminating her stunned, open-mouthed expression. Vivian, ever the first to recover, though her voice trembled, feigned ignorance. "Claire, darling, whatever are you talking about? We were just—" Elara's gaze was unwavering, piercing. "You said living with me is awful, but you're only here for my money." "And Sienna," she pivoted, her eyes fixing on her sister. "You laughed." Arthur cleared his throat, a pathetic attempt to regain control. "It was just talk, Elara. You know how Vivian gets. We were just joking." His eyes darted away, unable to meet hers. Vivian quickly echoed, "Yes, darling, we were joking. You know we love you." Their hollow, rehearsed lines, devoid of genuine emotion, only solidified Elara's conviction. She turned to Sienna, the architect of her own financial drain. "And the thousands transferred to your business without my consent? Care to explain that, Sienna?" Panic flashed across Vivian's pale face, and Arthur's jaw tightened. Vivian mumbled, "But, Elara, we're family. We thought you'd want to help." Elara cut her off, the blatant lie an insult to her intelligence. "No, you thought you could exploit. You thought you could take endlessly without consequence." Sienna, always entitled, always quick to deflect, finally lashed out. "You're so controlling, Elara, always acting like you're better than us, above us." This final, baseless insult prompted Elara to reveal her ace. She pulled out her phone, a screenshot illuminating the screen. Sienna's public social media post, branding Elara a stingy control freak, littered with laughing emojis. The collective gasp from her parents and Sienna's stunned silence confirmed their undeniable guilt, their carefully constructed facade crumbling into dust. With irrefutable proof laid bare, Elara delivered her unwavering ultimatum, each word a hammer blow. "I'm done being your bank. I want you out of my house, all of you, by tomorrow morning. Your belongings will be on the curb if they're not gone." Vivian's fork clattered loudly against her plate, a sound of finality. Sienna, recovering slightly, muttered a bitter taunt about Elara missing them, but it was met with cold indifference. Elara pushed back her chair, the scrape a defiant declaration. She turned and walked away, her heart hammering against her ribs, but her steps were firm, resolute. She had given them her home, her money, her trust. They had returned betrayal. The stage was set for their exit. 6 months later, Elara thrived. She lived in a new apartment, a space smaller than her grand Portland house, but every inch her own, clean, peaceful, and utterly devoid of family secrets or the toxic whispers of betrayal. She had sold the sprawling property, wisely invested the profits, and built a fulfilling life on her own terms, dedicated to challenging coding projects, genuine friendships, and a quiet, profound independence. Through a mutual acquaintance, she learned the inevitable fate of her former family, now stripped of their financial lifeline. Arthur worked part-time at a hardware store, his once mechanical demeanor now tinged with a palpable bitterness. Vivian, still clinging to vestiges of her former grandeur, was desperately attempting to sell old jewelry online, her once forced cheerfulness replaced by a gaunt resignation. Sienna's fashion business, already fragile, had collapsed entirely after her public attacks on Elara backfired spectacularly, alienating the very friends and fans she sought to impress. Elara felt no vindication, only a detached sense of closure, as if they were characters from a narrative she had wisely abandoned long ago. She had learned, irrevocably, to trust her instincts, to prioritize her self-worth, her peace, and her boundaries over a false, destructive sense of familial loyalty. This difficult decision, though marked by a lingering sadness for the family she had once believed she possessed, was ultimately the most profoundly rewarding choice she had ever made.